Hello and welcome back. Today we're checking out MECONOPSIS by Ninomae Ina'nis. Not sure if I said that name right, but let's just jump in. I'm really excited about this. Let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's go back a bit. That was like almost like a metal fusion with like the soft keys and like the I believe that was a synth, but it could just be like synthetic strings. That is a really nice tone on that. That sounds awesome. I like where her voice is there. Nice. That is some nice layering. Nice. Bring in the bass. Okay. Instrumental swell here. Okay. Okay. Nice lips. That was awesome. I love that. I will say there's this bit of like this is like odd kind of muffled effect on the main vocal, which makes it sound a little bit just like slightly suppressed, but her entire like vocal demeanor still comes out, so it's not like super obscuring of her voice. So it's not super like obtrusive, but I do think that it could just use a little bit of less digital effect on that voice. But aside from that, I mean, that was awesome. That was an incredible mix right there. I love how we went into like a swell instead of having this like impact and then leading like into like a harsher guitar part. Let's go back a bit actually, because I want to go back because that was pretty awesome. We had the bass rise and then we had a swell right here. And it matches the vocals there as well. And I will say, it sounds like there's like a layered vocal that has like some amount of auto-tune or something on it, because it's like kind of digital under her voice. If you go back a bit here. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like a layered vocal, but it sounds like there's like a higher degree of pitch correction on that layered vocal, and not like out of necessity, but out of like an aesthetic choice. Having like a large amount of like auto tune, at least that's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong about that, but it sounds like there's just kind of like an auto tune vocal right under that main vocal there. It's not too harsh though. I think that's a big player, is that like a lot of times autotune can sound very harsh or just not really fitting the aesthetic of the song. I think it's hard to get autotune to fit an aesthetic of song in general. But having that on that subtle vocal and adding this kind of like almost like not quite eerie, but slightly unsettling, you know, that digital aesthetic directly coupled with her relatively clean main vocal. I think that does create a cool aesthetic that doesn't really obstruct her vocal demeanor from getting out there. So I think that's actually a pretty cool aesthetic choice we have there on that secondary vocal there. Nice. Okay, big treble tones here. And then right into the bass tones. That was nice. That was really nice. The big treble tone swell right into the bass tones. It looks like we're coming into kind of this like, kind of like a bit of both here is what it sounds like. That bass pulse. Nice. More percussive accents up top. Nice. 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 I've got to say, the instrumental here is actually really vocal centric. I mean, the entire instrumentation has been constantly highlighting her voice. It's very nice to see, honestly. It makes a lot of sense for a VTuber song. I've said this before as well, that, you know, it makes sense for a VTuber song to focus on the vocals, focus on the talent first, and then map the instrumentation around showcasing that talent. So having this instrumentation very vocal, it's very in sync with the vocals stops when the vocals stop on some parts there. It's very in line with the vocal track. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's a really good choice, especially for a VTuber song where you're trying to promote the talent, match the talent, not necessarily match the talent, but just showcase the talent, spotlight them. It makes a lot of sense to have that. But I'm really enjoying this mix. This is a really fun composition so far. Nice. What was that right there? That was like a big bass tone pulse there. Right there. Not sure what they used for that. Nice. Those strings are beautiful with it. She has such a nice high register as well. That's really awesome. Okay. Okay. Huh. Huh. Right. I actually want to go back to that last chorus. That did sound like we added some, or rather took away a bit for more impact on the voice as well as the percussive. It sounded like we took out some of those mid and treble tones. Yeah. Yeah, we have very soft, those string parts are like very low there now, which I think is nice. Usually you would have like that last chorus would be like a big swell, like very like, super majestic, really emphasizing the majesty, how grand the finale is. But this is a really cool like way to do that, you know, just have a bigger focus on the vocals and the impact of the song, the percussives, the bass tones, having those impacts still with the voice, it makes it, well, more impactful. So that's a really cool finale to have there. I really like that compositional choice. The mix has been phenomenal here. I'm really impressed which is the composition, how it's mixed, and then just the awareness, how we're managing like all our treble, mid, bass tones. It's very fun to hear. I really enjoy this. Do we get more strings? A little bit. Nice. Bringing in that secondary vocal higher. Nice sustain there. Oh, okay, we're ending on the sustain. That's fitting. That makes sense. I do think it would have been not remiss to have like this sort of this after little segment where we kind of lead into the dun 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 dun, that like that interjectory segment that we're having after the chorus, where it's a little less heavy on the mid to bass tones and we're focusing more on those treble tones and her voice. And we had that here. We did have that here, but we sort of repurposed it into leading into that ending there. We kind of repurposed it into highlighting that supporting vocal instead, having that supporting vocal come up over, and then we led into the sustain, which is not a bad choice. I'm not the biggest fan of that supporting vocal, but I mean everything else just makes it work. It works with the song because everything else is super aware of where all the tracks are in the mix. It's a very, very enjoyable composition regardless of how I feel about the digital effects on vocals. I mean, it's still relatively clean for that main vocal, and it never like obstructs her voice, so it's still super enjoyable. And I think we're a bit more bass heavy as well. I don't think we were this bass heavy when we had it on earlier segments. Could be wrong about that. But let's just see if I can find an earlier segment real quick. No, I think we were that bass heavy now. I think the bass was about the same. Yeah. I mean the bass tones. I think that's a bass drum right there. Yeah, I think it's about the same. But we do have this part to change it. Okay. I do like that little guitar lead into the sustain. That was nice. But yeah, that was really awesome. I really enjoyed this. I see why you recommended that I check this out, because this is a really, really fun composition. I mean, there's a lot of tracks here. It's not too hectic, but having that, that supporting vocal adds another layer. And then I believe we had multiple like synthetic strings, because we had this like a lower like string track that we kind of use almost as sort of where the rhythm guitar was for a lot of the segments. But we also had that overlaying strings that would kind of swell with the chorus, at least the first 2 times. We didn't have it on the last chorus there. On the last chorus, we just kind of had those like rhythmic strings. But that was that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Ina sounded really, really like very. I'm not sure how to say it. Very, very just improved. She sounded like incredible. She sounded a lot better than I remember, and I remember her sounding quite well, quite good. Like her voice was, I don't know why I can't speak all of a sudden, but she improved a lot vocally. I haven't heard too much of her singing. I think I've only heard like what I've made videos on here, like I think maybe some of her group songs, one or two of her covers, and I believe I've heard Violet. I'm pretty sure I've heard Violet, but I'm mainly I've heard Violet. I think I'm mainly going off of what I remember from her singing Violet. She sounded she was still like hitting the notes, but she sounded unconfident, and then part of that was helping towards the emotional side of the song. But I think here we get to hear how she can still have that emotion but sound more confident in her voice. Because in Violet, it sounded a little bit shaky at times, and here it sounded a lot more stable. And she sounded like a singer. And like at Violet, she was a great singer, but she sounded like she was unsure of her voice. Here, she sounds like she's a lot more comfortable on the mic, and I think that really lends itself to how the song sounds as a whole, because she is in the spotlight. So having her be more confident, more developed on her voice, it really really helps. Um, not I mean, even though like even then though the composition, I've said like a million times now, I really really love this composition. This is really really cool to hear. But yeah, thank you very much for recommending that I check this out. And as always, feel free to recommend more things for me to check out in the comments below. Aside from that, I will see you all next time. Thanks so much.